Well, good morning, everybody. It's Pal Jasmine Gonzalez. Today is Monday. It's another manic Monday. So we are going to go to work today. Yeah, another manic Monday. So this past weekend, I finally finished watching season 2 of Warrior Nun. That's one of my favorite shows that I discovered 2 years ago. I do like shows that involve demons, and they have like a little connection to the Catholic Church, even though I'm no longer Catholic. But I like that type of shows. And I enjoy the twist that they give in the first season at the end. And the new season was really interesting. I enjoyed the accent, the Italian dialects that were spoken. I could easily understand them. I know a little bit of Italian from taking classes in college, 4 semesters to be precise. So to me, it's a lot of fun to be able to speak and talk in Italian. Honestly, like it's really great. So when I hear the words, I can understand the majority of it without having to look at the subtitles, which was really great. Again, going back to the show, so the season was really interesting because we had the first season and then where they pretty much released Adriel from the prison under the Vatican, and then season 2 started a few months after that incident, where pretty much in the first season the ending was very open-ended. Almost didn't explain too much about what Adriel was. Like, I don't think they were expecting to see Adriel in there, and they pretty much released him. And Adriel, we know in the season that Adriel is supposed to be an angel, but reality is not. He's more of like a being of a different dimension. A multiverse, pretty much. And we know that the scientist Jillian, she's been working on trying to create a gate that will open a portal from Earth to that specific realm, where people want to see that's heaven, but in reality when it's a different dimension. We learn about the other person, the other side. Apparently there's a war in the other side, and it's about a war of beings that may have godlike abilities, such as Rhea, which is based on I think it's based on the mythologic goddess Rhea, which is the goddess of Earth. So it makes perfect sense. So apparently Adriel was a servant of Rhea, and then he decided to rebel against her, stole the halo. Apparently there was a crown of thorns, and apparently it's interesting. They made a connection to Jesus, because Edgar mentioned there was another one that came first, but like they never heard anything back from him. So I'm pretty sure it was probably Jesus, because Adriel came up 1,000 years. He was dropped 1,000 years, so like didn't follow the line of Jesus. So we could assume that maybe Jesus was also from that dimension, and the crown of thorn was given to him to pretty much like send his spirits to the other side, so that would be killed, because otherwise they cannot be killed. And Israel have said that he cannot be killed in our plane, in the existence of in the world. He can be killed in the other side though, or actually killed by Tahrask, because Tahrask somehow are able to do that in Earth. Yeah, and that was part of the ending, and that's a little bit of spoilers in there. But yeah, overall I enjoyed the season. I kind of knew that it was going to be a kind of relationship between Bia and Eva, and that was very interesting when they finally kissed. I wasn't surprised. I kind of knew that was going to be the case at some point. The kiss was going to happen, and I was happy to see that. And then the ending was like, I like that they didn't left anything loose. They really explained well what was going on. and it really, like every villain that exists in the world that tries to take over the world, they always have like this ability of trying to explain what they're going to do to take over the world. So he explained his plan of what he was going to do, and explained what was going on the other side, what he did. So they tied up. They pretty much closed in the loophole of like what he was and what he was doing and what he wanted to accomplish, and that makes sense in the season, just in case they don't get a season 3. So they explained the ending really well, but they also leave it open-ended because they mentioned that of a possible Holy War coming. The character of Lilith mentioned that at the end, and even she said like she hopes that she can be on the right side. They can find the same side. So who knows what's going to happen? But again, I totally enjoyed it. I enjoy the concept of using religious beliefs, and using a little bit of science fiction. And the series reminds me a little bit of like Stargate, you know, especially when you consider that they have a portal that will lead to a different world. In this case, it's a different realm, but we don't know. What if it's a different planet, actually? You know, they never explain too much about what the other side is. You know, it could be a different planet or something like that. But the way that they see it is like another dimension. That other dimension look at our dimension like primitive, which is interesting. And that's based on what Adriel told the Waternon. So we don't know the conflict that is happening on the other side, which I think will be interesting if in season 3 they explore more of what's happening in the other side. That would totally be completely interesting, because I will give more feedback of like what is the other side, because based on the name of Rhea, which pretty much reminds me of Rhea, there might be gods living in that other side, or beings that at some point some people worship as gods, that maybe in the past they had access to portals to be able to maybe gain followers. Who knows, you know? So I'm curious to know more about the other side, other than what happened on this side, and see how it interacts with the world. That's a part of the series that I think they could have dwelled more into that, and that would have been really interesting. The other questions that I have is like, how did Michael, who is Gillian's child, came back? They never explained that, so there has to be a way of being able to come back from the other side. They never explained that. He just went into a portal, he disappeared, and then he came back, but they never explained how he was able to come back, you know. But he mentioned he was sent back with a bump, but they never explained like did she open a portal or something like that, you know. So all in all, it's a very interesting concept in terms of sci-fi, what they have. But again, not that different from like Stargate. And I remember watching Stargate, and Stargate was really interesting at the time. I've been watching the series of Stargate SG-1 on Netflix. So the series to me, it reminded me of Stargate, but there are still elements that are not similar to Stargate. Although there might be aliens that can do mind control and that kind of stuff. And that's what seems what Adriel was doing. He was doing mind control. Yeah, but they decided to express like he was doing demon possession, which then it will create like, okay, so how did he create the demons, you know, how he can harness power to create demons, and where those demons come from, you know. So that is the other question that he creates in the series that was never answered, how those powers that he developed, how he's able to use that, you know. So those are the things that in my opinion, they could have answered to in this season, but they didn't. But if they do a season 3, it would be interesting to see how they can explain that, you know. But in the end, I love the series. I love the fight scenes. Although the fight scenes, they could have been better and all that kind of stuff, but it was still good. The acting was decent, you know. I really love the acting of Alba Batista. She's the one that plays Waternon. I enjoy the other characters too. Sister Superior, the background, when they expand a little bit of her background, that was really great to see. and even at her age, like Sister Superior on Kick-Ass, so that was a nice. She has some very nice scenes in there. So it was not only about Ava, but they also focused on the other character, and that was great, in my opinion, to see. There were some great scenes overall. I enjoyed some of the plot twists that they did, but I feel like I was kind of like expecting some of those things to happen, you know, like especially with the Catholic Church, like people inside, you know, trying to betray the Pope. Like I kind of like knew that was going to happen, especially because in the first season we knew that Father Vincent was the first one that betrayed pretty much Waternon. So Father Vincent knew. So there should be other people that probably know. So in the season, even though it wasn't being told like that, it was interesting to see like some bishops turning and supporting Adriel. I wasn't surprised, you know. But like I said, I enjoy the fact that they mix religious belief with science fiction, and they make it their unique story. And I enjoy the idea of the world being a different dimension, you know. And again, with Marvel, we know that there are different dimensions or different alternate realities, what they call it, you know, multiverse. So the concept is not as new, but it was still interesting to watch. And I hope that they get a season 3, because I would love to see a season 3 and see what they can explain more of the other side. Like that's the one thing that I would love to learn more. I would love to learn more about the other side. What is the other side? Who are these beings that live in the other side that they decide can pass through that gate? And what powers do they have in that other side versus the powers that they have when they come to Earth? Because it appears that in the other side, when Adrian mentioned that he can be killed on this side, so he can be killed on the other side. So maybe on the other side he doesn't have the powers that he has when he comes to Earth, which basically gives the concept of like an alien like Superman, you know, when he comes from a different planet and he doesn't have powers in his own planet, but when he's in Earth, the Yellow Sun gives him supernatural abilities, so he cannot be killed, he's invulnerable, and all that kind of stuff. So that's the thing that I would like to learn more about in the series, because that's never explained, you know. And what happened to the beings that were in the other side? Maybe they were considered gods and came to Earth, but then at some point decided to abandon Earth. And so it changes the concept of like what is God, all that kind of stuff. Similar to what happened in Supernatural, you have the conflict of the angels and demons. You know, the demons even sometimes walk a line between not necessarily being completely evil. So, and the angels, same thing. They walk along with not being totally completely doing what God wants them to do. So, but here, like, you know, the other beings who they are, right? And they mention a conflict, and so there's a God war on the other side, probably. We are just, the humans seem to be like their pawns, you know, which has a similar concept to what happened in Greek mythology, with some of the story in Greek mythology, you know. So, but again, I totally enjoyed the series. I think the series, the season 2 was fantastic, and I would recommend it to anybody. And I can keep talking about the similarities that I noticed between Waternon and other sci-fi series, but I'm not going to continue talking a lot more about. I just like science fiction, and I think the series just was able to provide that, and in a way that is relatable to something that I grew up with, because I grew up in the Catholic Church, you know, and just seeing series that they use the concepts or the things that they teach in Catholic Church to create a series that is totally unique and different. You know, I think it's fantastic, you know, and especially one that put the woman, gave the opportunity for women to be stronger than and the men. You know, the men are like kind of like, oh, how dare you, you know, that kind of stuff. But they were the ones that were kicking ass and protecting even the Pope, and even the Pope. Duretti, he was a good character. He supported the nuns. He knew what he was doing. It was like So yeah, so definitely a great series from my point of view, and one series that I would definitely recommend. That if there's a season three, I would totally watch it because I like the concept and I want to know more. What's the deal with the other side, what they call, as they call it, was there was the other dimension, and I would love to learn more about the other side. I would love to learn more about the beings that are in that side. I would love to learn more about the character of Rhea because they never explain too much about her, and it's Rhea is the only one that lives in that other side, or the other beings in there. I can actually, I think we can assume that there might be other beings that are on that other side, but they never mentioned that. The only one that we get to know was Adriel and Rhea. But I'm pretty sure, based on the name of Rhea, that is similar to Rhea, which is the goddess of Earth in Greek mythology. We could assume that there could be other beings similar to Rhea in the other side that are similarly as powerful, and that they were maybe considered gods by people of Earth in the past. And I feel like if they go into season three, they probably will. They should explore more the other side because, especially now, since in the ending they send Ava to the other side to be healed of her injury. So there should be some kind of scenes that are from the other side that show a little bit of the other side. And we also know that the other side doesn't pass the time doesn't pass the same way. Like 7 minutes here, it's more time in the other side than it is on this side. Like, so we know that because Jillian discovered that. So what will happen to Ava? Will Ava grow older? Like how much time she spent in that side, and when she's gonna come back? But again, there are some other questions that I have as a person who watches the series. But if you watch the series and you're looking up at Adriel and the conflict, this series pretty much, like, even though it left certain things unexplained, it closed the loop of what was happening with the main storyline of Adriel trying to take over the world. And that's something that I enjoyed, that didn't leave any loose ends in that storyline. So the storyline of Adriel is over, but there might be other stories that they can pull out for season 3, or maybe any other future season of the show. And that was probably one of the best things that I enjoy about the show per se. In any case, that's all I got. 70 minutes of me talking about Warrior Nun, and definitely a show that I would recommend again. And make sure to watch it. It's on Netflix. It just arrived, and I did enjoy the show. And definitely, if they make it season 3, I will watch it. Anyway, peace everybody. Stay safe. Bye.